the channel! I sort of started this and then realised I didn't actually think about an intro, so I might blabber on for a little bit, but I'm really happy to be back filming again. I had a little bit of equipment malfunctioning. You always know when it's intro time, don't you? Come here. Oh, hiding. Henry, of course. Yeah, it's been a long time. Thank you so much to all my subscribers that haven't left me. I see some of you have still stayed about for absolutely nothing over the last couple of months, but as if any of you follow me on Facebook will know, I've been a little bit unwell over Christmas. I won't go into the mass details, it's been on Facebook, you know. If you don't know, give me a shout if you want to know, but if you do know, then you know I've been unwell, so I haven't had the chance to film. And again, once again, as I always say, work has been totally mental. Come on then, do you want to come and sit on my knee? Come on then. Come on. Oh, just loves being on camera, don't you? Yeah, so thank you so much for coming back to watch another video. This one was a little bit self-explanatory, as you can see by all the colour on my face. I really recently got into the Kaylee MUA challenge, and she encouraged everybody to use a lot of colour and do lots of different things. And I did, and the colour is not usually one of my things, but I mean, when you've got the Modern Renaissance palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, colour is your thing. The colours in there are so beautifully pigmented and creamy, so they're a miracle to work with. Yeah, I think I've yabbered on enough. Worst intro ever. What do you think, Henry? Even Henry thinks so too. To recap all the garbage that I've just spoken about, thanks for coming back to watch. I hope you enjoy the video. It's a little bit more of a colourful one this time. So if you didn't like to be a bit bold and wear colour, you could do this technique, as I shall say, or the steps that I've done in this video with neutral colours. You don't have to go for colour, but I have today, especially since I got this great Let's Roll Dazzle Henry Dazzledust eyeshadow from MAC, and it's so much fun. I couldn't wait to get that on my eyelids. Yeah, I've got a new camera, so I'm still working out the kinks with it, so bear with me if it's a little bit unclear at times. I haven't worked out how to keep the focus on, so bear with me if it gets a little bit fuzzy or a little bit hazy. I'll make sure that I edit out most of that. And yeah, thank you for watching, as I said. I hopefully will get a lot more looks done. And again, I'll have guests again. I've got a few ideas of people that I want to come on the channel, so there should be much more interesting things for you to see in the coming future. But as always, like it, watch it, subscribe if you've not already subscribed. Thank you so much if you've stayed while I've not posted anything for about a year. And I'll see you again next time. Bye! You say bye? Whoa. Right, let's get straight into it and get on with brows. Now, I'm doing my eyebrows a little bit differently these days. I'm really loving the Insta craze of these fluffy brows. And because I've got quite long brow hair, quite fluffy brows naturally, I'm just using a little bit of the Kiko Milano Eyebrow Wax Fixing Pencil to add a little bit of texture in my brows. I'm then going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow in Auburn on a MAC, oh god, I want to say 212 brush, but I can link it down below. It's a really good small angle brush for doing my brows. And I'm just more filling in the bottom area and working it up to the top, pushing the product from bottom to top, just to keep that fluffy brow effect. Next up, I'm going with a little bit of concealer on a brush just to sharpen up the edge of my brows, because I want the fluffy effect at the top. I still want to keep it nice and accurate at the bottom. Accurate, the right word? Clean at the bottom is the right word, I suppose, because I can get a bit haphazard with the products using this fluffy technique. It just sharpens up the edges and makes sure everything's nice and clean. And finally, I'm going in with a shit ton of brow set. This is the MAC Clear Brow Set, and just working this product again from bottom to top to keep the fluffy effect. The concealer that I use to clean up under the edge of my eyebrow, I've used all over the eyelid, and I'm just setting that with a little bit of the lighter shade from the Modern Renaissance palette. I'm then going back in with the colour Burnt Orange on a NYX fluffy brush. Again, I can't remember the number, but it's an eyeshadow fluffy brush. You know me, it's a fluffy brush.
Next up, I'm going in with the same brush using shade Real Gar this time. I'm not going as mad as I did with the burnt orange shade because the tighter I get to the crease, the more intense I want the colour. Now I'm really starting to intensify the crease by using a smaller fluffy brush and using shade Venetian Red from the same Modern Renaissance palette. This time I'm really just concentrating on the crease, applying the shade and then using the fluffy motions. Throughout this next step, I'm going to go back in with a smaller, tighter fluffy brush using more of the Venetian Red, then going back to my bigger NYX, there it is, my bigger NYX fluffy brush, just to make sure all edges are seamlessly blended. Just towards the end, I do go back in with a little bit more of the Real Guard, just again to make sure everything's blended. You know me, blend, 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 blend. Want an intense, obvious cut crease with this look, but I did want the shadow that I'm about to use on the lid to really stand out. I didn't want it to be diffused by any of the shadows that I'd used in the crease. So I'm just using the same brush I used to clean up the edge of my eyebrow with a little bit of concealer, again the same concealer, and just clearing the lid of all the shadow that I'd used previously. And speak of the devil, here it is. I picked this up the other day from MAC. It's the Dazzledust eyeshadows in Let's Roll. I don't know why I've never found this product before. It's such a gorgeous colour, really metallic, really big for this season. I'm going in with a Chanel shadow, flat shadow brush and applying that, patting it, really packing it into the lid. And then I'm going in with a Chanel tapered blending brush to add a little bit of red ochre on the outer corner and blend the lid and the socket line together and just intensify the outer corner. I wanted my lid colour to be just that little bit intense. So what's really good about the Dazzle shadows is if you wet your brush, I used a little bit of Max Fix Plus because it's got that fixing agent to it. And again, pack it into the lid. You can see how much more of that metallic foil effect you get from it. And it just gives you a little bit more of an intense look on the lid. Because I'm finished with my lid eyeshadow up the top, I am then going to clean up underneath just using a wipe. I know I can use eye makeup remover from sometimes, but I had wipes handy. So I've just used a wipe to clean up underneath and the outer edge and give it that sharp finish. To start my underneath eyeshadow, I'm going in with the NYX Golden Bronze, I think it is. Yeah, Golden Bronze NYX pencil, really creamy, great texture to use blended out with a brush as you will see here, or to apply into the line. It's such a nicer colour to use than black. And I'm using what was left on the big fluffy brush and a little bit more red ochre just to blend that out on the bottom. Now usually I prep my skin off camera, but a lot of people have been asking me recently what I've been using skincare wise, and I cannot rate this product high enough. It's the Kheils Iris Tonic lotion. So a lot of people jumped on the Pixie Tonic bandwagon, but for me I just find it burnt my skin a little bit too much, and glycerin is an exfoliant, so that's what it's meant to do. I just didn't find it was too comfortable. So I love this. It totally redefined the texture of my skin and meant I didn't have to use loads of different serums and lotions and potions. It's a great tonic just to apply a little bit in hands, warm up in the skin and pat it into the skin. I then finish with my Kheils Hydro Plumping Retexturising Serum because again I don't like anything too thick on my skin. I'm then going with my Organics All Bright Radiance Balm. This stuff I cannot recommend enough. It's so highlighting, it's so brighting on the skin, and it only costs about £5 from Boots. It's such an unknown product that I have it as a staple in my kit. I'm then going in with Time Check lotion to just a couple of pumps to sort of retexture the surface of my skin and make sure I've got that nice quilt-like base for my foundation to go on to. Again, next up I'm going in with a little bit of foundation, not too much because I'm really enjoying this fresh skin look that seems to be really fashionable at the moment. So I'm using MAC Face Body N2 and then the Rimmel Wake Me Up Concealer in Ivory Beige it's called, just to highlight the high points of my face. Using a beauty blender as always to really stipple this into the skin so there's no surface residue. Now the N2 foundation was just a tad bit too warm for me. I did buy it in a darker shade so that I can wear it more through the summer when I've got a little bit of colour. I was dying to try it because, believe it or not, I've never tried it before. So I've just gone in with a little bit of the lightest shade from the concealer palette that I use again to set my eyeshadow, just to make sure everything's a bit brighter rather than it being too dark. I'm then sculpting my face with the Trifina and Cleopatra Pro Sculpting Cream set that MAC took out recently. I love that this is a little bit more grey in tone. It's not too warm, it's a cooler tone so that pale people like myself can sculpt their features and don't have to look like they've got orange stripes. I'm then setting it with the Double Wear powder in N3N2 Wheat. Again, it's not a bronzer, so it is just a setting powder, but because it's too dark for my skin tone, it works perfectly on my pale skin. Highlighting as always, but I'm using Sara Hill Rose Quartz highlighter from her quartet that she did recently. Holy crap, this stuff is sonic. It is like boom highlight. I'm then I'm washing Dainty blush all over my cheeks just to give me that rosy glow. And I've already applied lip gloss. You don't need to see me apply lip gloss. And that's the finished look. Thank you so much for watching. It's been such a long time coming. I really hope you like the look, and I'll see you again next time. Bye guys!